My name's Alex Neiwirth, and I'm a field representative for the Idaho Association of Government Employees. And it seems to me that what's happening with the budget, generally speaking, is really short-sighted for the people of Idaho, and it's really going to wind up affecting us all, not just the state employees. And you know, there's kind of a misnomer out there that state employees are somehow overpaid or something like that. The latest state report on it shows that, you know, for their education levels, they're about 15.9% behind their market rates on what they're getting paid. So they're making a sacrifice for the state of Idaho. And having spoken with a lot of them, I know the reason that they do it is because they care about all of us. They care about the people that are served by programs like Medicaid, and they're dedicated to improving the quality of life, whether it be for, you know, Medicaid recipients or those of us that enjoy hunting and fishing or our state parks or whatever. And they've been making sacrifices throughout the last several budget cycles through furloughs and different payroll cost reductions and stuff. And it's been really disheartening because a lot of them feel that they simply don't have the support, any support, to do their job. A lot of them are overworked and feel that they're not able to give their clients the services that we all hope that the clients get. And it's really frustrating, and I know that a lot of folks are leaving state employment for greener pastures. They're just sick of being underpaid and feeling like the whipping boy of the Grover Norquists of the world. And so something, I think, needs to be done, or we're going to wind up with a broken state system where all of our experienced employees who have skills and talents and know how things run are going to be out of the system, and it's not going to be pretty. The other thing that I want to talk about, though, is it seems like in this whole discussion there hasn't really been a concept of shared sacrifice. You know, that we all want the sacrifice to be on somebody else, and somebody else to have to do it. And I think the problem is most of these the current path on the budget solutions are actually going to mean a lot bigger sacrifice for all of us in the end anyway. Some of just from my personal experience, my personal life, some of the things that have me really concerned in the budget and with the revenue situation are teachers and students, and how this is going to impact them. Our superintendent says the only way that we can continue going forward is if we increase class sizes for our students. As a father of a young daughter, that has me really nervous. My wife's a teacher, and she was telling me the other day about one of her coworkers who, to make ends meet, had taken on a second job at Home Depot. And recently she was offered, she's part-time at Home Depot, she was offered a full-time position, and she started doing the math, and she's going to make more money if she takes the full-time job at Home Depot and still have pay and benefits and stuff like that. And I don't want to badmouth Home Depot or anything, because that's great that she's able to get that there. But the concern that I have is we're losing an experienced teacher because the state's not able and the districts aren't able to provide them the wage to keep making the sacrifices that they have to make to serve our students and our children, which is building a better economy for the future. My wife's school, they can't make photocopies at school. Right? They said, well, there's nothing in the budget for photocopies. So she goes to Kinko's because, you know, sometimes kids need to actually be holding something in their hand to help them do what they need to do. So she's going to Kinko's. I tell her, no, don't do it. That's the legislature's job, and they need to be adequately funding education. She can't bear, obviously, to have the students make that kind of sacrifice, and she puts them first. She really does. Other people talk about it all the time. I don't see it happening. And so these are other, you know, these are the kind of sacrifices that are already being passed on and that we're already making. the parents and teachers together had a rally out there last week, and they spoke about, someone there spoke about a concept of shared sacrifice, that how many of us parents would be willing to pay a little bit more to know that our students could get a quality education and to know that they're not going to be jammed in a class with 40 other kids. And the parents there were overwhelmingly in favor of it. You know, we know the value that education has given us as we've come forward. I'm a graduate of Idaho Public Schools, and I feel, and Idaho Public Secondary Schools, and I feel I've received a world-class education. And the thought that my daughter is going to get something substandard, it's really disturbing. My brother is developmentally, intellectually disabled. He received some great services from the state when he was finishing up with his public education, and they helped him find a job, and they helped place him in the job, and they gave the employer some assistance in putting him to work and keeping him work. He's been working for the last, what it would be, 15 years, 14 years, something like that. He's been paying sales taxes. He's been paying income taxes. These state services that the Grover Norquists of the world want to get rid of have created and helped facilitate another person to contribute to society, when he could just as easily be receiving state services constantly and not contributing to society, which, obviously there's impacts to our tax rolls from that, but the impact of him having a job and the pride that comes from that is it's priceless. And I appreciate Representative Trail, Representative Ringo. I see my Representative King is here, Senator LaFavor. I appreciate Representative Buckner-Webb. I appreciate all the work that all of you are doing to move this state forward, rather than letting us, someone mentioned a third world country, and it kind of seems like those are the two options that are being presented for us now. I just want to thank everyone and encourage everyone to reach out and make contact to your legislators, to your friends and family. The Egyptians and stuff have shown the value of social networking and using that as a tool to educate. And I think that we need to be speaking with all of our friends, all of our family, about why these services are important to all of us. Because it's not just my brother or my wife's students who depend on these things. But in the long run, it's going to be the economy of Idaho. And we can continue slashing and burning and see the direction that heads us, or we can take the necessary steps, which do involve some sacrifice, and that are shared equally and broadly amongst all of us. And there's no denying that, but I think that that's a better alternative than the kinds of sacrifice that are going to happen if we continue to do nothing but cut. Thanks.